Imagine a city already on edge, grappling with complex issues of policing and community trust. Now picture a cold January morning where a federal operation suddenly erupts into gunfire, leaving a 37-year-old ICU nurse dead in the street. This isn't a scene from a movie. This is what unfolded in Minneapolis on January 24, 2026, when Alex Jeffrey Pretti was fatally shot by Border Patrol agents. But here's the thing. The official narrative quickly clashed with eyewitness accounts and local authorities, igniting a firestorm of controversy that continues to burn. What if the story you think you know is missing crucial pieces? What if the very agencies tasked with upholding the law were actively obstructing justice? We're diving into the shocking details of this incident, the conflicting reports, and the profound questions it raises about federal power and local sovereignty. This isn't just about one shooting. It's about the escalating tensions, the fight for transparency, and the human cost when these forces collide. You need to understand the full picture because the implications stretch far beyond Minneapolis. This is the story of Alex Jeffrey Pretti, and why his death became a flashpoint in a national debate.
You know, people often ask how this channel puts out content like this so consistently. And honestly, I'm not doing the heavy lifting manually. I'm using Helios. It's the AI engine we built to handle the impossible parts of creation. It is literally the power behind what you just watched. If you want that kind of speed and quality at your fingertips, don't just watch AI build the future. Start building it yourself. Helios is finally open to the public. Check the link in the description and go bring the heat.
Let's rewind to that fateful Saturday morning. Federal agents, identified as Border Patrol, were conducting an operation near Nicollet Avenue and 26th Street in South Minneapolis. The Department of Homeland Security, DHS, later stated that agents fired defensive shots after an individual, identified as Alex Jeffrey Pretti, approached them with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun, violently resisting attempts to disarm him. But here's where it gets interesting. Local authorities, including Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara, quickly presented a starkly different picture. Pretti, a U.S. citizen and an intensive care unit nurse at the VA hospital, had no prior criminal record beyond traffic tickets. Even more critically, O'Hara confirmed Pretti was a lawful gun owner with a permit to carry. What most people don't realize is the immediate aftermath was just as contentious. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, BCA, the state's lead investigative agency, was denied access to the shooting scene by DHS representatives even after obtaining a judge's signed search warrant. This unprecedented obstruction immediately fueled suspicions and outrage among local officials and the public. Governor Tim Walz condemned the federal presence, calling their actions an absolute abomination and demanding they leave Minneapolis. This wasn't just a shooting, it was a jurisdictional battle playing out in real time, with a life tragically lost in the crossfire. The denial of access to the BCA wasn't just a procedural hiccup, it was a critical turning point that deepened the crisis of trust. Imagine state investigators, armed with a judicial warrant, being blocked by federal agents from examining a crime scene within their own jurisdiction. This move by DHS sparked immediate condemnation from Minnesota's top officials, including Governor Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison, who questioned the federal government's transparency and motives. And that's not even the craziest part. Eyewitness videos and subsequent analysis by outlets like the New York Times painted a conflicting image of the moments leading up to the shooting. While DHS claimed Pretti approached agents with a handgun, some video evidence reviewed by the New York Times indicated he was holding a cell phone, not a gun, in the moments before he was tackled and shot. This discrepancy is absolutely critical. Pretti had reportedly been filming law enforcement agents and directing traffic, and was pepper-sprayed and wrestled to the ground by multiple agents before shots were fired. The question then becomes, was this a defensive shooting or a tragic escalation fueled by misjudgment and a lack of clear communication? The lack of cooperation from federal agencies only intensified calls for an independent, thorough investigation, leaving the community demanding answers that felt increasingly out of reach. The death of Alex Jeffrey Pretti didn't happen in a vacuum. It was the third fatal shooting by federal officers in Minneapolis in just 17 days, occurring amidst mass protests against ICE enforcement actions. This context is essential. Just weeks prior, Renee Good was also fatally shot by an ICE officer, an incident that had already ignited widespread protests across the city. Pretti himself had participated in these protests, deeply upset by the federal immigration crackdown in his city. His parents, who described him as a caring ICU nurse and an avid outdoorsman, had even cautioned him about protesting, telling him to be careful and not to engage. Now, you might be thinking, what does this have to do with immigration? ICE's mission is to enforce immigration laws and protect national security, but their presence and tactics in Minneapolis had become a source of intense friction. Local leaders, including Mayor Jacob Frey, had repeatedly called for federal agents to leave the city, arguing their actions were causing chaos and undermining community safety. The shooting of Pretti, a U.S. citizen with no serious criminal record, by Border Patrol agents during an immigration operation, only amplified these calls, turning a local tragedy into a national symbol of the contentious debate over federal law enforcement's role in local communities. So what does this all mean? The killing of Alex Jeffrey Pretti exposed deep fissures between federal and local authorities, highlighting a critical lack of transparency and accountability. The refusal of DHS to grant the BCA access to the crime scene, despite a judicial warrant, set a dangerous precedent, suggesting federal agencies can operate with impunity within state borders. This incident sparked widespread outrage, with thousands marching in protest, demanding justice for Pretti and an end to what many perceived as an aggressive and unaccountable federal presence. The conflicting accounts of the shooting, particularly regarding whether Pretti was holding a gun or a phone, underscore the urgent need for independent investigation and the release of all available evidence. The human cost is undeniable. A 37-year-old ICU nurse, described as caring and community-minded, is dead, and a city is left grappling with grief, anger, and unanswered questions. The implications are clear. Without transparency and accountability from all levels of law enforcement, trust erodes and the potential for further tragedy remains. What are your thoughts on the role of federal agencies in local law enforcement operations, especially when they clash with local authorities? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth analyses of critical events shaping our world.
I hope you got some value out of this video. And if you're sitting there thinking you want to build something like this yourself, you don't have to start from scratch. I built Helios to give creators an unfair advantage. It takes the heavy lifting out of the process so you can focus on the ideas. It's exactly what I use, and now it's available for you too. The link is in the description. Don't just watch the future, go build it with Helios. I'll see you in the next one.